goody goody, here it comes.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Coddington, joined by my fellow co-host and filmmakers, John and Elaine Woolscroft.
Guys, the paperwork came in. I officially changed my name to Pubert.
It's a strong name.
It is.
Yes.
It's a very, very strong name.
And if anyone wonders what we're doing, we're talking about Addams Family Values today.
Yes, we're on episode 155. Crazy, we're on episode 155. And we thought we would have a Thanksgiving-y kind of.
Happy Turkey Day.
Happy
for
Turkey
everybody.
Day,
If
everybody.
it's before Thanksgiving, hope you're prepared for your families. If you're listening to us on Thanksgiving, thank you for making this part of your Thanksgiving Day tradition.
Yes,
If
that's
it's after
right.
Thanksgiving, you're probably like, the fuck is he talking about Thanksgiving for?
Yeah.
And you know what, dear listeners? I'm grateful for you.
Aww.
Every single one of you.
I'm grateful for our Pandora audience, which has grown tremendously since we've
Yay!
been on Pandora.
Pandora audience.
So thank you, Pandora audience. And if you're not on Pandora, well, thank you for listening too, because we are thankful for you.
And I'm thankful for pie and beer.
You're always thankful for
pie
that.
and beer
Yeah.
together.
Well, not at the same time.
I was going to say, do you like chug
Well, see,
a pie and then you chug a beer?
Well, see, I have a nice porter and then a piece of apple pie, maybe with like coffee or milk or something. You know, and then you
Wait
go
a minute. You drink your beer and then you have your pie and then you have your dairy.
well, dairy with the pie, and then you have more beer
Oh,
afterwards.
that just seems like a recipe for disaster.
See, I like a nice
Oh,
craft
it makes for
beer.
a broken toilet, I'll tell you that.
Well, I was going to say, like, is it coming out of both ends at that point? Like, literally, you're just like shitting and vomiting at the same time.
Well, who doesn't eat their pie on the toilet?
I think that's like the lowest rung of just depression.
John does take all of his meals on the toilet, in fact.
Are you serious?
We call it his office.
It's like the favorite when
I'm gonna go out for lunch. Where? On the toilet.
when she would just eat the cake and then barf it right in the pan because she couldn't digest it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we got wildly off topic, as always.
I gotta say, this is difficult finding Thanksgiving themed movies. You know,
Or like ones that don't make me want to kill myself. Like,
yeah, I had a slasher all lined up for you guys, and
I
Lane
was
was
like,
like,
no.
"If we watch that,
No.
I'm going to kill myself."
No, please don't.
I was
do
like,
that.
I can't. I didn't have the strength this year.
I mean,
okay?
we did Thanksgiving a couple of years ago.
we did 2 movies and a fake trailer by Eli
Yeah.
Roth
Yes.
a few years back.
Yeah, well, we did Thanksgiving, and I brought Her Fucking into the world.
You did.
That's-
That needs to be a T-shirt. I've
It's
said
one
that
of my
before.
proudest moments of the
Turfucking.
show. Yeah,
Burke did
is.
it. Fab to Lassie.
But,
You know?
oh, please don't. Not the Burke did it thing. Fap to Lassie. Okay, yes, you could
Fap
do
to
that.
Lassie,
Yeah.
definitely.
Body by Jake has
Body-
pillow muscles.
He seriously did. But I was glad you picked this one because this one's one of my favorites. Like, and
It's
I didn't
just
think it was a
fun.
Thanksgiving movie
It's
until I
comfy.
watched it again. I'm like, yeah, it really is.
And it was
Weirdo puts on a Thanksgiving play in probably what's August.
well,
I don't
it
know.
was, and it was released around that time. It was released
Yes.
around Thanksgiving time back in the day.
1993.
Well,
Don't say
yeah.
back in the day. 93 was just like 5 years ago or something.
Lies,
The millennium's coming up, right?
Yeah,
lies.
yeah. But this is a sequel to the first Addams Family, which came out in 1991. Which that one blew up like all crazy hell. I remember
It made lots of money.
I remember that coming out, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, did you listen to MC Hammer's new soundtrack to the Addams Family?"
The
Oh,
Addams Family.
my
That's all I can do.
Wow.
That's yeah,
You want to
yeah.
get sued?
It was great movie, like a very dark movie, and we'll probably eventually get to that too.
Oh, yeah.
I love how Hammer, like when his career faded, he went to like gangster rap, and then when everybody's like, "That's not you," and you're just cashing in, he's like, "I'm gonna become a church minister."
Well, he was that before.
Yeah,
He was a church minister before.
Yeah.
I knew that because of the MC Hammer, TV movie.
How about
oh,
that?
the made for TV. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. That was good.
That was good.
We should review that.
We should.
All right, we're switching gears.
Guys, we are all
Too
over
legit.
the place.
The MC Hammer
Come
story.
on.
This is
Come
a
on.
problem. We are all over the place. Let's focus.
So do you want me to give kind of like a description of this movie for
Yes.
those who have not seen it?
Feed us.
Yeah, that sounds
all right,
lovely.
all right. Let me find one here on the IMDb's. All right, okay. The storyline. Should I do this in the movie theater voice?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Which one?
The one you did earlier.
The serious guy.
The serious guy, Don LaFontaine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When an adorable baby boy is added to the Addams family home, Wednesday Pugsley do not hate him. They just aren't necessarily excited about his existence. Okay, yeah, they do hate him. So they plot to get rid of him in a way. This is a terrible.
I was gonna. This is certainly
This is serious.
IMDb.
This is IMDb.
Well,
this
those
is
are
terrible.
those are mostly written by fans.
I'm just being
Yeah.
honest with you. This is fucking terrible. I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
You could probably riff one off the top of your head better than this.
Okay, here's the.
do it.
I can't rip one off the top of my head in that movie theater voice. But basically, the Addams family welcomes a new baby boy, which was alluded to in the end of the original, the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Only I've noticed this one has only 2 legs, and I was expecting one with 3. Because that was what I was told in the first movie.
Well, maybe he's
fine.
like a little kickstand. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's the only thing I could think of.
Whoa.
I mean, he does have a mustache.
Although the baby is played by twin girls.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if anybody who's a fan out of there of Home Improvement, if you remember Tim Allen's twin nieces,
Oh, really? That's them.
yeah, that's them.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Getting that work done in the 90s.
But anyway, they have a kid. They name him Pubert. Wednesday and Pugsley do not like him. They want to kill him in multiple ways, which are hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And at the same time, Gomez and Morticia are struggling to deal with this new sibling rivalry. Although I'm like, in the first movie, Wednesday tried to kill Pugsley all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
this
the
is
time.
normal. It's normal for them.
You just have a third one here. So, they're kind of stressed out. And at the same time, too, Uncle Fester is sexually frustrated.
Oh, is that what we're gonna say? Okay.
That's what it is.
He's kind of an incel.
no.
I mean, I'm just saying,
Not.
Fester is tired of his hand and thing.
Yeah, but he doesn't feel that he's. Wow, I see what you did there.
You saw what I did?
But no, he doesn't necessarily feel entitled. Being an incel is much
No,
more.
he
than
doesn't
just,
feel
I don't know.
entitled.
If Gomez wasn't
just-
there to keep him steady. I don't
He
know.
just I thought it was funny that there was a line when Fester's saying, I just want someone, I can be with. And Gomez is like, well, there's Thing. And that immediately made me think, I'm like, oh, God, Thing's been jacking him off.
It's true.
But anyway, Fester is feeling kind of sexually frustrated and wants kind of a relationship of his own. And lo and behold, that kind of falls into his lap when Gomez and Morticia hire
Debbie
Jelinski from the agency.
Well, they've gone through a ton of potential, nannies,
Including
for the
Cynthia
kids.
Nixon.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Sex
I
and
thought
the
that
City.
was funny. I thought that was funny that she was on there.
Hello,
And she's
I'm
a
Polly the puppet.
and she's a politician now. So yeah, I don't think Joan Cusack has ever looked more beautiful than she does in this
Oh
movie.
my God, she was pretty hot.
She looks so good in this movie. She's
Yeah.
and she's usually like in her later bit of career, she's usually like the school marmy kind of
Yes.
character. Do you know what I mean? But she's like hot in this one.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest. When I saw this when I was a kid, I was like, oh yeah, yeah.
Good to know.
You were
Good to know.
festering too.
I was.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's
Yeah, she just looks great
She
in
just
this
looks
movie.
great.
And I think that the art direction and not just the production design, but the clothing and everything, I think there's a lot of really thoughtful choices at hand.
definitely.
But guys, what is with the Addams family? Like, do they can they die like we do? Are they actually trying to murder each other? Do they get enjoyment out of death? Are they serial killers? Like, I don't. Am I not supposed to even ask
I don't
these
think
questions?
you're supposed to
You're
look
not
at it
supposed to
too
know.
hard.
You're
I
not
don't think
supposed
you're
to know.
supposed to look at it too hard. But
Because like, if they dropped an anvil on the baby, like if they hadn't caught, would they have just murdered that baby?
Well, I feel like because they're an Addams, it might be harder for
Addams.
them to kill.
Okay, I mean, Lurch
So
gets a cannonball to the head and he's fine,
Right.
but he's also Lurch.
I think if I may, I think that their lifespan is longer and they are harder to kill.
Yeah, is Morticia a witch?
I don't know
It's been
that witch
rumored
is
that
really.
she's a witch.
I always took her as a witch. Now, what is interesting?
really thought about
What is
that.
interesting? I was looking into this a bit more. So I always assumed that the grandma character was Morticia's mother, and in the movie that is the case. Mm-hmm. But if you go back to this series, the grandma character was Gomez's mother.
Interesting.
And Fester was Morticia's brother. Not,
Yes.
not
the other way around.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
Gomez's brother.
Well, yeah, because Carol Kane was saying that. I was reading an interview with the cast, at the 25-year anniversary, and Carol Kane was saying that to be grandma, she really didn't want them to do a lot of prosthetics on her face.
Yeah.
But they wanted to make her look like hundreds of years old. Yeah. So I think that's part of it,
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Where like the family's a little different. And I think that they made the choice to have grandma be Morticia's mother, sorry. Because that way the whole thing with like Fester, like she,
Well, it was also a thing like in the first movie they made mention of not Morticia, but Gomez and Fester's parents in the graveyard scene. And because that was the thing. And then also I think also because the first movie is really hinged on Gomez and Fester kind of rekindling their brotherhood.
And I think like having their mom there would be too complicated for the story.
A little bit.
So yeah. So anyway, so we have the new dynamic of nanny and whatnot, and we find out that
Debs.
I like that. We find out that Debbie is actually known as a Black Widow.
She's a serial killer.
She's a serial killer.
This is another weird twist of things. Like, where do they get all this money? Like,
the Addamses are just rich.
Stocks and bonds and
just rich.
things like that.
I don't know.
Like,
it's always been a thing.
And the old cartoon, I believe Gomez was a lawyer.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like in the old New Yorker cartoon.
He was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is funny because he scoffs at the idea of Pubert being a lawyer in this movie.
Yeah. And two, the New Yorker wouldn't let them name the baby Pubert because they thought it was too like risque of a name.
It's close to pubic. You know?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, the New York Times wouldn't, or the New Yorker, wouldn't let them do it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't let them name the baby that. But yeah, so.
But we get the same movie as before. Like, as somebody is manipulating.
No, we don't.
Fester.
I
to
disagree.
Get his money and power.
I disagree.
Except in the first movie, Fester's just manipulating himself.
In the first movie, it is. You're right to a point. There's an outside influence, and I think that's what you're getting across.
Yeah.
There's an outside influence, but I think in the first movie, it is more about the family coming together. Where this one, it is the family's together initially, and this outside influence is successful to a degree in breaking the family apart.
Breaking apart their values.
Get it?
But I think the thing that makes this one stand out is the summer camp.
Oh my God.
It's so good. Okay.
That's the best part of the movie.
So let's get through this really quickly. Mm-hmm. So Debbie is a Black Widow type of character. She has her sights set on Fester. She wants to, marry, murder, and then enjoy his money.
Yes.
And
unfortunately, he's an Addams.
And being whip smart, Wednesday has figured out the plan.
Yes.
So Debbie has the kids shipped off to summer camp, and they go to Camp Chippewa.
Oh my God.
And
which means orphan. No.
We get to enjoy Camp Chippewa. Oh, and honestly, I love Christine Baranski. I think she's hilarious in this.
She's one of the camp counselors, right? In case the audience doesn't know who you're.
Yeah.
And then, we have, Janosch.
Peter McNichol.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in like a ton of stuff here and there over the years. Yeah. I like him too. He's very funny.
He's always just like that guy. Like you see him and you're like, hey, it's Janosch.
Yeah. And two of the little kids in the camp, you'll see that she was in the first movie as well. But
she played a Girl Scout cookie.
Mm-hmm. But Mercedes McNabb, she went on to be on Buffy for a little bit. And
is she supposed to be the same character as the first film?
No, I don't think
it's just
so.
They just cast her again and hope you didn't remember. Or
well, it's kind of like in Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever and Batman Robin, where you have multiple cast members playing different roles, which we'll get to one of those. Later.
Yeah, I feel like maybe one of these weeks we'll discuss that.
It might come out. You never know.
Excellent. But yeah, so then and then you'll also notice David Krumholtz in the movie. He's known for the show Numbers, and he was also in 10 Things I Hate About You later on in his career.
Who did he play?
He's like the love interest for Wednesday.
Oh,
little nerdy kid.
Yeah. No,
director cameo. His father is Barry Sonnenfeld.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
He was Barry Sonnenfeld also was in as a cameo in the first one. He was the man on the train.
Ooh,
when Gomez was losing his shit.
I like that.
So yeah, this movie, I gotta say, is one of my favorites.
It's a good movie.
It is also one of the only films that I can think of where I felt that the sequel outdid the original.
Yeah, and you know what?
A lot of people say that, yeah.
But no one at the box office agreed with you. This made no money.
Well,
it made like $50 million.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah. Well,
Guys, we were cynical about sequels back then. I think, and now we expect 25 Marvel movies.
Well, that's right. We were cynical about sequels back then. We're not cynical now.
Yeah.
We're not cynical assholes
cynical now, but
Yeah.
like we're still gonna go see things.
Yeah.
Well, I meant as like an overall public, like, 19 Marvel movies in 10 years, and we're all like, give us more! Back
I don't
then it
know,
was
I'm
like,
kind
a
of
second
tired.
Addams Family movie? Are you out of ideas? Meh. But, and the thing is, like, I agree that there's a lot of things that do make this film stand out a little bit more, but I do think it falls into that trap of cartooning up the first one, which I know this movie is... Addams Family was ridiculous to begin with.
They did
but
punch it up a
like
little bit.
Yeah, they took everything to an 11.
I think they punched it up a little bit, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, if anything, the first film was more subdued than this one was.
You think they're both insane, but if you go and compare the two, like, watch them backwards.
Yes.
Watch Values first, and then the first. You're like,
yeah.
wow, this is actually like very calm and collected.
I think with the first one, they leaned more into more of the macabre than funny.
Yeah, it's more sarcastic.
It was
the
more
second
sarcastic. It was more,
The Daniel Waters, the second one.
Yeah, yeah. And I, as I said, I don't have a problem with that. The reason why I say that it is a improvement on the first one, and why I think that it's better than the first one, is because a good sequel, has to do a couple different things. Primarily, it has to expand the mythos. It has to expand the goals of the characters that you establish in the first one. Okay, so that's why I say, like, the first one, the whole point of that was to bring the family together. That was the first one. Okay, at the end of the movie, the family's all together. Fester knows who he is. That's
Right.
what the goal was. The question, though, is what do you do next? And I think that a good sequel expands upon that. So, yeah, we add Pubert into it. That brings another element to it of multiple how does a family deal with a new family member, in their life, okay? And then on top of that, the family's broken for a period of time. And then the result is, okay, how do you bring that family back together? So that's why I think it's an improvement. It also adds a lot more, in my opinion, a lot more comedy. It gives characters like Wednesday more time. It gives Fester more time, because Fester, I mean, he was a prominent figure in the first one, but like this one, he's hilarious.
Oh yeah,
like Christopher Lloyd's just having fun. Also,
this
Gomez
cast is incredible.
Gomez, Raul Julia, the great Raul Julia. He really is let off the chain on this one, and I love it.
He went from an 8 to a 12.
He has one of this. Okay, in all of the movies that I've seen over the years, his scene with Nathan Lane is by far one of my absolute favorite scenes, period.
Nice.
Like, the monologue he has with him, the back and
the
forth.
world gone mad?
Yeah, no. My brother, passion's hostage. I seek justice. Denied. Like, that literally is one of my favorite scenes. Like, I watched this again. I went back, watched it, and was like, oh my God, it's so fucking hilarious. and honestly, it doesn't work if Nathan Lane isn't there. Like, you have to have
Agreed.
that straight man to battle against, Gomez's madness.
Of course.
But, it is such a great...
See, I always wondered, though, like, I know that Debbie Dolinsky is a sociopath,
Yeah.
but she should still be shocked and weirded out by the Addams Family, and she just kind of rolls with it right away.
It's true, but maybe because she's like a sociopath, it doesn't seem weird to her.
I don't think it's weird to her. I think the fact that, like, she just, I mean, at this point, it becomes kind of like Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it kind of felt like to me, and I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
Right.
But it was like...
That's what I was saying about them cartooning up.
Yeah.
When, like, Morticia is spinning and her, like, she's setting a fire with her feet. It's like, when did Tex Avery direct this part?
Or they kiss and suddenly all the champagne bottles pop open.
I don't know what they were
so
trying to infer
funny.
there, though. I don't get it.
It just never happens to you, John.
Is it just because there's a lot of barometric pressure in the room?
See, here's the thing. I didn't
Yes.
have a problem with it because, like, if you remember the Babushka song from the first one, that had a lot of crazy stuff happening, too.
Right.
You
But
know?
not to this extent.
No, not to this extent. But I mentioned one thing that, a sequel has to do a couple things. The first one is expand the mythos and expand the dynamics. The other thing too is to amp up the actual production as well. The production's always amped up from the first one. That's why you look at Batman Returns versus the original Batman. There's clearly more money been thrown at it.
Maybe.
Not always,
Although
for the better.
Gotham is very small. And let's have a press conference with 45 people.
Again, not always a winning strategy. But
if you want to hear our thoughts on Batman Returns, scroll back.
Episode
way
1.
back.
Episode
way
1.
the fuck back in our archives.
Yeah, episode 1.
Episode 1.
So I just think that this movie kind of has all the right pieces to a sequel that actually, to some degree, is better than the original. That's just me.
I think what's really interesting is that this cast is so top notch, and when you get them together again, a few years later, they've already kind of been through the roles once. They get to expand upon that, and I get the impression that they did all get along really well, and I think you can really see that on the screen. I think that is a big part. That you have so much talent, and they're just kind of allowed to lean into the madness that is the Addams Family.
Well, I think the biggest thing that this film has that the first one didn't is that Christina Ricci was old enough now that they could write a more thoughtful character for her, and really she steals the show in this.
She is very good
if she
in
was
this.
12 years old when they filmed this one. She was a lot more aware than she was as a small child.
Between her and Joan Cusack, they're the ones who steal the whole show,
and
in my
the
opinion.
scenes with the two of them where Wednesday is clearly in on Debbie's game.
Yeah.
I mean they're just great scenes.
Well, when she's hiding in the wallpaper.
Yeah.
She's painting herself into the wallpaper.
And truly, I think that the best lines all go to Wednesday.
Yeah.
As a rule, especially at the summer camp.
I'll be the victim all your life.
all your life.
Is that your bathing suit? Is that your overbite?
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't, even if this film had been successful, now technically they did make a third one, but we don't need to talk about that.
We didn't talk about that one.
But
That one doesn't exist.
But I don't think they would have made a big Hollywood production third one because honestly, Christina Ricci by that point was blossoming.
Well, she was getting
it would have been
also-
about 95, and I remember I had quite the crush on her in 95 because she was
Casper.
She had a body by then, and it's not creepy because she was older than me.
Yeah.
I was 10.
Yep.
She was probably like
That's
13.
true. That's
Yep.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, she was also filming my favorite movie, Now and Then, which we tried to do on the show. And
We did.
I know. It wasn't a good episode, though, because no one cared. Only
It was an
I
all right
cared.
episode. It's not our fault
It
nobody
was an
listened to
all
it.
right episode. We just put out the episode. We just hope that the audience likes it.
Yeah,
As
that's what I mean. It's
Elizabeth
just not
Banks
very...
said, it's because people are sexist. It's not because no one wants to see Charlie's Angels.
That's what she said about Charlie's Angels.
Yeah. Tim Miller also said that he's never going to work with James Cameron again because of Dark Fate.
Yeah, it's James Cameron's fault.
All right,
Meanwhile, there's like
guys.
11 writers on there.
Guys,
Yeah, but
the ADD is real.
I know.
Goddamn. Okay.
But yes, I getting back to Christina Ricci, I think that she stole the show.
we couldn't have Wednesday become Thursday.
no,
you know what I mean?
no.
By that I'm,
Is that like a boobs reference somehow?
maybe. Yeah,
or?
Is that a-
she's
is that a
getting
boob
on.
reference?
She's getting on,
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think that these two films are just lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
And it was just the right time, and everything
Well,
was good.
you also
And two,
couldn't make it again because Raul Julia
I was
passed
just going
away.
to say, Real
Oh, yeah,
Julia
he-
died
he-
very shortly after
a year
this.
after this. He
Yeah.
did, poor guy, did Street Fighter and then
Yeah.
died.
And just, oh, man.
Part of me has a soft spot for Street Fighter.
Ooh.
It's terrible. Don't get me wrong, but it's like one of those awful, terrible movies that you just have to watch. I mean, the man literally has like the best lines in it.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's fair. That's fair.
Side tangent, Lane. I know you just corrected on this,
Oh,
but
my God. You guys are the worst today.
But it's Street Fighter, so it's based on a goddamn video game. They made a video game based on the movie and they made that a fighting game. This sounds like Simpson shit, doesn't it? Like, this is the fall of capitalism.
Oh, my God. Simpson shit. That's funny.
Well, getting to talking about capitalism, this movie, and you guys kind of illuminated me that this has a lot of political references.
yeah,
in it.
yeah. There was a cool...
Surprisingly, yeah. I mean, they say, it's directly about George H.W. Bush, but honestly, I think it's just about privilege and elite and the upper crust.
I saw some things in this about just critiquing suburban culture,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
More
suburban
than that,
culture.
yeah, that too. Because
you know-
like the Addams families are rich, so it's not just attacking the
Yeah,
rich.
no, I didn't
Right.
see it as attacking the rich. I saw it as attacking the yuppie white culture.
Yeah, and
being privileged is all about.
Yes.
well, too, the Hollywood Reporter did a really great article on this, kind of saying that this satirized the George Bush era, and I don't know that it's overly political, like directly.
No, it's not.
But putting the idea of like family values in the title,
Yeah.
I think that's sort of part of it, where it is kind of a funny little like bit for that.
Especially because at the time, George H.W. Bush was kind of like the scion of the, Christian values thing.
Right.
1,000 points of light.
Yeah, and Scott Rudnick, he has a quote here in this article that says, I did also want the movie's name to be a response to the Republican Party's constant harping on family values, as if only conservatives could define a loving family. In Republican terms, family values is always code for censorship and exclusion, and Republicans still refuse to respect or even acknowledge, for example, LGBTQ families.
Yeah.
I like to believe that the Addams family is far more loving and accepting than their enemies. And I thought that was an interesting way, to kind of... and I've always kind of assumed that it was a little bit of a counterculture kind of measure where they're this wacky, atypical family and they really, really love each other. I mean,
Yes.
what does that say? They're not supposed to be normal.
Yeah.
But like the patriarch and matriarch are obsessed with each other and deeply, deeply in love.
They seriously will have sex right in front of people.
Right.
But
And
it's funny that they, obviously when they're filming this, it was an election year. But by the
Yeah.
time the movie
Yeah.
came out, we had Bill Jeffs. you
Yeah,
know?
that's
we turned
true.
a corner. So, but I mean, I guess
Kinda.
they thought that
Kinda.
yeah,
Kinda.
by 1993 standards.
1993 standards.
well, and then
We didn't
too-
have a Bush, and we never would again.
And well, too, I thought Angelica Houston had a cool quote here in regards to this, and she says it was definitely a political commentary. Family values was a phrase that was used by the Republicans to describe what should be normal or what should be right in America, which is, of course, preposterous. Family values, deeply entrenched in Christianity.
Yeah.
Laughs, and I can just hear her voice saying it, and I love her.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that's an interesting kind of take on it.
It is.
It's just funny to think that, like, when I first read that article, I was like commentary on the George Bush, presidency, and I was like, he wasn't president yet, and I was like, oh, we had
Daddy
two.
Yeah.
We had two of them.
Yeah, we did.
Don't forget, well, Jeb ran.
Remember when we thought that was how bad it could get? And then we
It
got
was
his
bad.
son. Then we got his son, and we thought, oh man, it can never get
Idiot
this
cowboy
bad.
maniac. Yeah.
It can never get this bad. Just wait. That's why I'm convinced that 8 years from now we're gonna get Cthulhu.
Here's a big bag of fat racist oranges. Like,
My God.
with tiny hands.
yeah.
So do we want to get into a little bit of the whole crux of the whole Debbie and Fester relationship? Because I think it's
Please.
really interesting.
Please.
So Fester, it basically, once he kind of becomes enamored with Debbie, Debbie kind of takes advantage of that and kind of plays off first as kind of this very helpless kind of, oh, I'm a virgin too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a virgin.
I'm
Fester.
a virgin, Fester. And what I find funny is that immediately after they get married, it suddenly changes. Like, her whole personality changes, and suddenly it's like, well, I'm not a virgin, and she turns kind of into kind of like a sex pot for him to convince him to stay away from his family.
That's true.
And then she tries to murder him a bunch of times, but it doesn't kill him. See, this is what I don't understand.
Yeah.
She electrocutes him in the bathtub, and he's like, I can put a light bulb in my mouth now.
What's
Like,
great is the conversation afterwards. Are you upset about the bathtub?
I think this is why they are okay with attempting to murder each other, because I don't think they can die.
John, I very patiently explained this to you a little bit ago.
Well,
I think that they're
yeah.
harder to kill.
Okay.
I
the
also
average
think
people.
I also think it's a matter of like, they don't see that as a bad thing.
Right.
Like, you think about it, like Gomez literally will threw knives at his brother.
Oh yeah, that's such a great scene. And
As they're embracing, he's like, brother, throws him against the wall and throws knives at him. So I don't think it's necessarily like he sees it as a negative thing. He's like, oh, you love me too. You tried to kill me a couple times.
right,
Well,
it's
earlier in the
normal
movie,
for
too,
them.
when he throws the dart into Lurch's mouth, I'm like, and murder, and then no, but it just cuts to Lurch like, gulp, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
he's fine.
Well, the cannonball falls on his head from the top of the roof.
Yes.
I mean,
And he doesn't stop watering the plants.
It would crush your skull.
To be
You would
fair,
so
Lurch is
dead.
basically a Frankenstein. Okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
But I love the different setups you get for each one of the times that Debbie tries to kill him, because they're all like, as I said, they're wacky as all shit, but they're fun to watch.
A lot of physical comedy here.
Like after she tries to electrocute him, she's like, "Fine, I'm gonna turn you into kind of like a yuppie type of character," so forces him to wear like really terrible wig,
Pastels.
Yeah.
pastels, and uses all of his money to buy a house and things from catalogs, which she then blows up trying to kill him.
Like you do.
He got the insurance. She's got the insurance.
No, but what's great is like, as you said, like I think he enjoys the kind of play with the getting blown up, because he even's like, he got the present. He's like, it's a bomb. She's like, what?
It's how they express love.
It is.
But at the end of the movie, when they're all tied to electric chairs, like, is that going to kill them?
No.
I mean, Fester was literally blown up, and he's like, "Oh no, we burnt the fucking ham or whatever." So I don't even like. What are the stakes at the end of the movie? Are they even going to die in those electric chairs? But
Maybe she would just like fry them and fry them and fry them until they were just like.
I mean, I don't know.
it's just funny, John.
It's fun.
Damn it. I'm just kidding.
I gotta have rules, guys. But
There are no rules in this.
but-
Okay.
But what about hey guys? Isn't this a Thanksgiving movie? Didn't we claim this to be a Thanksgiving?
We did.
It was released around Thanksgiving.
There you
and
go.
Do we want to talk about
The
Camp
summer
Chippewa?
camp?
and the
Oh
summer
my
camp?
God.
Yeah.
Camp Chippewa.
But this obviously is the easiest way to play out the dichotomy of they're like all moody and cynical and in dark clothes, and then everybody else here is just a yuppie, empty-headed,
Conservative
schmutz.
nightmare. Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
And yeah, they
Camp Chippewa is pretty much a nightmare place.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
You don't have to be the Addams Family to not want to go to that hell.
I wouldn't want to go to there.
No, and I went to summer camp as a kid. Did you go to summer camp?
I went to so this was not, it was summer camp, but it wasn't like a sleepover camp.
Oh, okay.
It was one of these like day camp type things. So like Cranberry Township had this thing called Camp Cranberry,
Oh, okay.
which it was basically a 2-week.
That's a clever name.
Yeah, I get it. It was basically a like 2-week day camp, and you'd be in Cranberry Park, and you'd basically like have activities and shit to do, and then you'd go home at the end of the day.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I
So
went to sleepaway camp.
what the interesting one about that was that after 2 weeks, if you were still there, it basically redid the same thing over and over again.
No.
So like all summer, it was one summer, and literally, I had like 3 or 4 different things that were the same thing. Like literally, I made projects. And it's
Bummer.
like, oh yeah, we're doing it again, and like all the camp counselors, you could tell, just were kind of like, yeah, we're here. And it's like, yep. One guy especially, he had like, you ever know how you meet people and there's like weird things about them that you like, visual things about them that they stick in your head. This one guy, he had his braces off recently. He was a camp counselor. He had white rings on his teeth.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
You didn't take care of them.
No, he didn't. Yeah,
That's like a
yeah.
sign that you didn't take
Yeah,
care
he
of
didn't
them.
take care of him. But it's. I mean, that's off topic. But I'm just getting across that like that was the summer camp that I had.
I got you.
Not
Yeah,
this
I
time.
went
That
to
summer camp where that little boy drowned in 1960.
Oh, did
Yeah.
you go to that camp? You went to Camp Crystal Lake, huh?
Yeah, I went to.
yeah, it was not a nice place.
I went to Girl Scout camp a couple of times, and one of the
Girl Scout camp.
yeah, one of the things was was called Singing Hills. It's in PA, and
Yeah.
and they the camp was like trying to be sold and everything, and I don't think that they were successful, and so
So you went to a camp that was basically heavyweights, like the movie Heavyweights. You ever seen that movie?
I didn't go to fat camp.
No. But I meant like the camp was being sold.
Oh, not at the time.
That's what I
mean
meant.
recently.
Oh, okay.
I mean recently.
I didn't.
Like,
I
it was,
I didn't
sold.
mean anything like that. I meant like.
Oh, I was confused.
I didn't
was like,
mean
what?
like.
I don't even know what this movie is.
You ever seen Heavyweights?
No.
Oh, our
shit,
generation's
man.
obsessed with it. I'm not a huge.
I
Heavyweights
like it.
fan, but
I'm gonna have to throw that in the Google machine. Check
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah, dude,
It,
for
it
real.
has Ben Stiller as one of his best performances.
I think it's one of his
Yeah.
best. I don't know.
I try to avoid Ben Stiller.
I mean,
mostly, so
he-
John
I saw
hates
the trailer.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah, this is him at his most like, crazy.
He is crazy. in
He
this.
is crazy in it.
But anyway, yeah, but that was my experience with Girl Scout camp, and in camp in general.
Yeah.
because I did go away, and we had to sleep in like the tents, and we had like
Oh,
little
yeah.
cots and all that stuff. Like it was pretty cool.
Yeah. What about you, John? Did you ever go to summer
Oh
camp?
please! He walked into the Boy Scouts, and they were like, "No, No, get out.
I did not. No.
You mean you didn't walk into the Boy Scout and say, "Hey, I got a whole bunch of porn. You guys want to hang out?"
No, they were like, get out.
I want to tie
bye.
a knot.
Yeah. How do you think John got along with the like authoritative structure of the Boy Scouts, Brian?
Probably not very good.
I was in the Boy Scouts for about 3 weeks, and they said, we're going to ask you to leave.
Did they actually ask you to leave?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do?
He does not abide by authority.
He doesn't listen.
He makes the other Boy Scouts do bad things. He can't tie a knot. Like,
He can't tie a knot.
I mean, literally, you can't tie a knot.
well,
But,
I
like,
mean,
you know,
I can
all
tie
kinds
a
of
knot, but
fancy
like a
ones.
fisherman's knot or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
who the fuck needs to know that?
Boy Scouts, Brian. Boy Scouts.
I came into one meeting without my uniform on there. What are you doing? I'm like, it's itchy. I didn't want to wear it. Does it really matter? We don't do anything with the uniform. I don't have any badges anyways because I don't do that crap.
Oh my God.
I wanna go play
I'm just
baseball.
imagining a 10-year-old you just walking in, cigarette in hand. Fuck this place.
Cigarette in hand.
I got
Oh
my badge
God.
for lighting up a cigarette. How
Oh
was
my
that?
God. And it's funny, two of our very, very close friends are both like lifelong Eagle Scouts.
Oh my God.
It's nice having them around
I don't-
because they actually know how to do shit. Like tie a knot.
I don't know how you can have the temperament to still be an Eagle Scout. Like by the time you get to Eagle, you're pretty much a fucking adult.
Yeah.
So
But like that you're just a scout for life.
well, I just look at it as like, at one point, do you just say like, "Hey, this is kind of dumb"? Maybe
I don't
should
think
like
so.
not
I think
be.
if you do it right, like I feel like there's a lot of like stewardship and leadership, you know,
I don't know.
in the Girl Scouts.
I never did Boy Scouts, so I can't really say.
I outgrew Girl Scouts just because it's the cookies and very little else. you
Yeah.
know what
All
I
the
mean?
Girl Scouts is a cookie racket.
It's
Listen, I was a real good cookie salesman.
Cookie dealer.
I was.
Cookie
Man,
dealer, yeah.
I like
Let's say
won.
dealer.
I would say dealer. You were a dealer.
There was one year I just like won every fucking selling prize that there was. I won every prize.
Just one more bump.
Competitive.
One more bump of
I
Samoa.
was competitive.
I'm a thin mint man.
But yeah, so
But-
but in this case now, I had good camp experiences.
Yeah.
But Camp Chippewa is like very
Bad.
exclusive. Ugh. They are very exclusionary.
There you go.
Yes.
And you know, just very conservative and whatnot, and the friendship that is struck up between Wednesday and David Krumholtz's character, what's his name, like Benny? It's something
I'll check
nerdy.
for you.
It's something nerdy. I
it's
can't remember.
Joel Glicker.
It's
Oh,
Joel.
there
Oh,
you go.
okay. All
Joel
right.
Glicker.
My bad.
Yeah.
Benny, that wasn't even close.
It rhymes. It's fine.
But yeah, but their friendship, you know, he's like very enamored of her, and she like very much admires his intelligence. I think it's like a cool kind of thing to see, you know, with them kind of, you know, being young and
Yeah.
like, you know, having a crush, you
And the
know.
outcast of the whole place.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And they tried to break them down. Like Pugsley.
They,
went,
pronouns.
Pronouns, pal. The camp counselors and basically
Right.
the other like upper crest campers.
Blonde people.
Yeah, blonde people.
This place is very Aryan. I'm sorry. This is like
I don't think that's a
Whoa.
mistake.
that.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's
Throwing around words like Aryan.
Although, did you guys notice as
I'm-
the summer went on, like a lot of the makeup department put orange makeup all over like some of the
Yes.
blonde girls to make them look like they have the most hideous, god awful tans you've ever
They,
seen.
Yeah.
they did.
As the movie goes
Yeah.
on, their tans get worse and worse. They look like Donald Trump.
Whoa.
I guarantee you, his kids probably went to Camp Chippewa.
Yeah. No, he just left them to like starve at the house, like the nannies and butlers raised them.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they try to break them down, but they can't, because it leads to a big Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this
Play at
this
the
I
end.
never quite understood. I mean, you alluded to this earlier, John. Who the fuck decides to put on a Thanksgiving play in like July?
I think the writers said to themselves, "Well, when's this movie coming out?"
Oh,
Around
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Let's do the Thanksgiving thing.
Yeah, because that way, everybody will be like, "Ah, it's the holiday."
Yeah,
I'm sorry. What would
what
they
what do they
Ah,
say?
it's the holiday.
That should be a cell phone ring,
What was it?
by
Yeah.
the way. There. Oh, it's
Now the surround sound one.
you do know I put this thing out as mono, right? Like, you did that for no reason.
lame?
But I always thought it was strange that they did this Thanksgiving thing in like the middle of summer. Because I mean, it would make sense if it was a fall camp, but no one does.
But
fall
I guess
camps.
it's just part of like that
they're idiots.
that
right?
misplaced like American pride.
Yeah.
It's like almost like bordering on nationalism. You
Again, Aryan.
Yeah, well, I mean, where they're like, trying to like talk about the origins of the country or whatever, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
feel like they're trying to be like proud in a way that's just not right.
Well, everything about the play is horribly inaccurate as well, on purpose.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's funny.
By the time they had the first Thanksgiving, Pocahontas was dead.
Thanks, John.
Thank you for that one.
All right, guys, that's been our episode. Thank
She
you
was
so much.
back in England and dead with John Smith. But yeah, everything about it is incorrect. The Chippewas would have never been a part of the first Thanksgiving because they were not part of that part of the country.
Interesting.
So yeah, everything that this guy writes, the main male camp counselor, is horribly
Peter
incorrect
McNichol.
because he didn't do any research.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
he just wanted to prove how much white people were better than Indians.
Well, I mean, I think that is again. This is. I mean, there are political things in this. I think this scene is definitely one of them. You've got it where what's her face? Aryan girl number one.
Mercedes McNabb.
Yeah, she is talking about how we're going to welcome our friends. They are savages, but they're our friends. And I love it how Wednesday starts out being, because she's at this point thought of as converted.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They did try to break.
They tried
her.
to
They tried to
brainwash
break
And
her
you
and
think
brainwash
that
her
They did. Yeah.
Right.
because she smiled.
Yeah.
But it's all a ruse, because then she gives one of the best speeches in the movie,
so good.
where she's like, You people will drink hot hors d'oeuvres. You have hot hors d'oeuvres and drink highballs. My people will be, on reservations. And it gets to like the legit, like this is the real history.
Oh yeah.
Of the relationship between Americans and Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I think is great, because then it breaks into an awesome scene where they start slaughtering everybody.
And lighting things on fire.
You have taken the land which is rightfully ours.
There you go.
Years from now, people will be forced to live in mobile homes on reservations. Your people will wear cardigans and drink highballs. We will sell our bracelets by the roadsides. You will play golf and enjoy hot hors d'oeuvres. My people will have pain and degradation. Your people will have stick shifts. The gods of my tribe have spoken. They have said, do not trust the pilgrims, especially Sarah Miller.
Oh, that's it, Sarah Miller.
Yeah.
That's her character's name.
Gary, she's changing the words.
But it's a great scene, because that's a very much on the nose political hit there, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, it couldn't be any more.
Oh, I mean, like,
in
we're
your
being a little
face.
obvious.
Yeah. But I think it's great.
I think it's
great,
cool though, and I think it was cool that this was in a movie in '93, because there wasn't a lot of information being brought out about like the Native American struggle.
I know that in grade school they never talked about that stuff.
Well, we always dressed
even
up.
in high school they didn't even talk about.
Well,
that
we
stuff
always
to
dressed
some
up like
degree.
like pilgrims and Indians, and I remember, was it second grade, where I was chosen to be, a Native American, and they had us like pick out, like Indian names.
Yeah.
And that is so disrespectful.
It
Like
is
that
really
is definitely not
disrespectful.
something that anyone should be doing.
No.
Like that's just, I don't know. I think that's just.
I think it's especially once you like I think that there's a responsibility on the part of teachers. I know that it's not, you don't want to, at second grade, you kind of have to weigh, do we want to talk about the real relationships between the Pilgrims and Native Americans? And I think it's a matter of like, do the kids understand that? I think they do, personally. I think that if you put it in a way and said, you know what, this is what really happened, I think it's worth doing that rather than giving this kind of comical, very offensive, kind of cartoony look
Oh yeah.
at the relationship that clearly didn't exist.
Well, and will schools still do that, where you
They
can
do.
dress up as pilgrims and
They do.
Indians and pretend to have like the first Thanksgiving or whatever? And I think that curriculum is just outdated and harmful.
It is, and I don't know if they still do that. But
A lot of schools still do.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
That's really
I know.
disrespectful.
Well, I mean, this is that classic Gen X kind of mindset and logic, isn't it? Like, let's just burn down what the yuppies are doing instead of trying to fix the issue. that's classic Gen Xers.
That's an interesting take. Yeah.
It's
I
like,
guess
let's
that's
be
fair.
cynical about it and attack those that are doing it and not try to actually fix the issue.
Well, thankfully, we're not Gen Xers. We can fix it.
millennials.
No, but we just get
We're
told to
aging
shut up.
millennials.
We just get told to shut up. That's
We're
what we do.
aging.
Hashtag okay boomer.
I did that to somebody, by the way.
Did you okay boomer somebody?
I okay boomer someone.
So happy for you.
So I kind of did it under our Twitter account.
Oh dear. Oh
sorry,
dear.
sorry, but it was some
Sorry.
it was some douchebag. Like I had to
That's
do
fair.
it. It was after the whole like Democratic debate, and someone said something that was kind of stupid. And it was a millennial attack, and I'm just like, is this a good time to use it? Should I use it? Should I drop the OK Boomer bomb? And I
Throw it
did.
out there.
Okay,
And I did.
boomer.
It was great.
I like it. I like it.
It was glorious.
I like it. So anyway, Wednesday Addams almost burns the camp to the ground.
Yes. Well, she does.
Yeah.
She does burn the camp to the ground.
It's pretty great.
And they get their asses out there because they got to go save Uncle Fester.
Yes.
It's true.
Because by this time, Debbie has blown him up and kind of revealed that she's trying to kill him.
Right.
More than one.
Her end
And-
game is clear.
And at the same time, because Fester's been told that he can't be with his family anymore because she's used her, feminine wilds, which is a nice way of saying sex, to get him to stay away from his family. I'm sorry, Lane. That's the truth. That's the truth of it.
I mean,
It happens in the movie.
I didn't say that there wasn't. I thought you were like polite about it.
I was trying to be polite about it, but that's the truth. She used sex.
She used dead ass.
She used that ass.
Bitches be banging.
And
Oh wow, John.
no.
You took it too far.
You took it too
as
far.
Usual.
Took it too far.
As usual.
Bitches be shopping. Bitches be banging.
Oh my God! Stop it.
So at the same time, because Fester is not in the family, Hubert has turned into a blonde, adorable baby.
Oh yeah.
to
it's
Gomez
unfortunate.
and Morticia's shock and horror.
Yes.
Which I don't know how that makes any sense.
I don't know. It's a movie.
He could be a lawyer.
What?
An orthodontist. President. An orthodontist. President. And ultimately that also leads to Gomez kind of losing his shit too, but not in a good way.
No.
After the whole house gets exploded and Fester gets rescued by Thing, they show up at the house, and the family all comes together, Wednesday and Pugsley too, and at the same time that's when Debbie decides that she's going to kill them all.
Yeah.
And straps them all to electrical chairs. And kind of gives this amazing speech
It's
with slides.
so batshit. It's so fucking batshit. I love this part.
Do you want to talk about this part?
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
You go ahead. I'm just going to enjoy.
No, that's fine. It's fine. So she basically details that she killed her parents because she did not get a ballerina Barbie.
Malibu
Boo,
Barbie.
I was a ballerina. Resourceful. Delicate. They had to go.
Yeah, all of her husbands and everything.
All her
And of
husbands.
course, like the Addams family are all getting chubs. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
'Cause
oh,
people
you're
are
a murderer.
murderers.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Well, even grandma is like, an axe, that takes me back. It's like, she's getting off on this thing. She's getting off on this. And, she goes to try to kill all of them. And sure enough, Pubert pops in because he's had like the mousetrap version of Escape.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
like the Goldberg machine.
Rube
It's
Goldberg.
the coolest thing. I love that stuff.
Yeah, where he, slides down a banister, hits a fucking bowling ball, and that pops him up in the sky. And this is the part where I'll say they went off the rails a bit. Okay,
Yeah.
when I see
Just
the
a
baby goes 36,000 feet up in the air to an airplane, that's also the same airplane that what's her face? His
Mercedes
father.
McNabb's
I'm
family
gonna
is on.
yeah. Mercedes McNabb's family's on and says, "Hey, hi." Like that's when it goes a little Looney Tunes.
It is the little cry.
But it's great. I don't care either way.
They should have had a
Funny.
William Shatner cameo there. There's a baby outside the plane.
That would have been great. That would have been great. But Pubert pops back in after falling from the sky and not dying, and redirects the electrical current so it kills Debbie
commits
instead
murder.
of. And, yeah.
Murder.
It's an Addams. It has to do that.
Salty murder. I like it.
Well, the baby, like, there's a deleted scene where the baby is, like, they make up a thing of, like, Worcestershire and, like, raw eggs and shit. It's supposed to be, like, the original hair of the dog. Before the idea was that he was supposed to be the alcohol.
That did happen.
Yeah.
That's not deleted scene. That's in the
I
movie.
don't remember seeing that again. Okay.
Yeah, Gomez is mixing, like, the eggs and vodka, and he's like, hair of the pup.
Yeah. The baby has sunglasses on, like, it's
Yes.
hung over. So,
Yes.
so the baby's a drunken murderer.
Listen, aren't all babies drunken murderers?
My baby isn't.
Yeah.
Okay,
That I know
fair,
of.
Fair.
Give it time. She'll grow into it, Brian. Don't worry.
Yeah. But, then we kind of flash forward, and like the Addams Family movies kind of have this tendency to jump forward in time. Yeah. So they jump forward in time to, I thought initially it was Fester's birthday, but it actually is Pubert's birthday.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. His
Yeah.
first birthday, right?
And, Fester meets the delectable dementia.
Yes.
My name is Fester. It means to rot.
And, Joel Glicker starts to model Gomez, which I find a little weird. I'm like, that's Wednesday's dad. So
Kinda cute, though. I
you're
mean,
dressing up like her dad.
it's always that joke, though, that you marry your father or whatever.
It's still a little weird.
It is. I mean, I don't like
It's
that
still
joke.
a
It's weird,
little,
but
little Donald Trumpy. That kind of thing.
a little gross.
A little gross. Yeah, a little Trumpy. And, they kind of go in front of Debbie's grave, and sure enough, the hands pop out and grab Joel.
Yeah.
Which I know as a kid, that always, like, scared the shit out of me. Because, like, they jump the music up.
Yeah.
They jump the music up real high. And you're like, oh, God! Like the
I
same
hate
thing
those,
in
like,
same thing
little
in
pop
Carrie.
endings.
Yeah.
That's-
Carrie did the
Yeah.
same thing.
It's not a real ending, You
Yeah.
obviously couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, how could she have hands? She got electrocuted, turned to dust.
Yes.
The logic
Not
just
the
isn't
problem is she's
there.
a zombie now.
Excellent point.
What did you just do? The ground's tainted, and that's
Yeah,
why?
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Did it reform her body? Is that what we're saying?
Well, doesn't
Maybe.
Wednesday have this like cocksure smile on her face? Did they maybe just set up a trap for him, like it's not a real person? Or
Oh, yeah.
They
Yeah, it's a
could've.
good joke.
Yeah.
Like,
I
she
mean-
plays a joke on him. Yeah, that's...
She found it very,
that.
arousing. I think she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna marry this guy." But that's the end of the Addams Family Values.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Enjoy your turkey.
This movie has a lot that I think works well. I wish sequels like this existed. I think they don't nearly as much anymore.
Yeah. And it's a shame that this movie didn't do very well.
It's got great acting. The acting is, in my opinion,
Agreed.
and the script are probably the best bits of this. You could say it does kind of go off the rails in parts. I think it has great cinematography, great special effects. We didn't really talk a whole
The
lot about that.
special effects hold up really well. I think
They do.
Thing holds up
set
really
design,
well.
The costume design. Yeah, it's a very beautiful film to look at.
Oh yeah, and like even for '93, I mean the special effects are pretty good. When they throw Fester at the wall with the knives, like
Yes.
that, I think that holds up. you
And I
know?
mean, Thing especially, like that was a kind of
Yeah.
a groundbreaking thing. Was
it could have been really bad.
Well, in the original Addams Family, that was a new technique.
Yeah.
If you go back to the series, Thing always existed in a box. So it quite literally was a person's
Yeah.
hand going through a box.
yeah, it's true.
And they took that out. And, with this one, Thing wasn't featured in nearly as many scenes as the original one was.
Yeah.
But, he's driving the car and that sort of thing, and you have that chase. And,
Yeah.
and absolutely, I think the effects do hold up. You could, as I said, the only thing I would have for it is that there are moments where it kind of goes a little goofy.
Oh yeah, it's
A
very.
couple moments, the whole damn thing is goofy.
No.
It is a bit. It is a bit.
I'm talking
cartoonish.
about that ending. I'm talking about the whole, hands popping up thing, and then also, Pubert flying in the sky.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, this is crazy. But the point, it's like, Pubert's supposed to save them. How the hell is that supposed to happen?
Right.
So how do you get from A to B?
So what are the three reasons we didn't get Addams Family 3? Was it Raw Julia's death? Was it the box office? Or was it that everybody was just fucking done making these movies?
I think it was all three.
I think it was Raul Julia's death being the big one.
Yeah, because I feel that Wednesday might have surpassed him, but he's really the star.
He's always been the star of it.
Or I mean, or is
Yeah.
it Fester? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it
I've
is an
always,
ensemble thing.
I think it's a matter of, it's like, who is going to replace Raul Julia? Raul
No
Julia
one.
brought a soul to that character.
I'm glad they didn't try. Honestly.
that-
Well, they did.
They did
You know-
try.
You know
Tim
what I mean.
Curry and Daryl Hannah. Nah,
You
it
know what I mean.
wouldn't work out.
Yeah.
But I think it was probably a combination of box office. This is probably a very expensive movie to make.
Probably.
So if you're not making your return on that investment, you're not going to want to dive into it. But I think it was probably mostly because Raul Julia passed away.
Yeah.
Such
a shame.
It's a shame. It is a shame because these two movies, especially, really, in my opinion, solidified his legacy.
Yeah, I agree.
I
agree.
Good talk, guys.
I know, it was a good movie.
Hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Eat some turkey, pass out.
Be the ones that run the errands, because if you need, that's the best way to get away from your family. Oh, somebody's got to run to the Walmart real quick. I'll do it. And then fall asleep in the parking lot for a little bit, and then
or run to the Black Friday sale, immediately after.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish, Brian?
Oh, that's a tough question there. If I had to pick a favorite Thanksgiving dish, I would have to say the stuffing that I make.
Stuffing is my favorite too. Are you a gravy man?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Me
I
too.
don't trust non-gravy people.
I know.
Are there people out there that are not gravy people?
My mom doesn't like gravy at all.
What the fuck?
No.
Are they like the juice? They like the juice of the turkey, like put on stuff?
She doesn't.
Because there's those people, like people
No.
who don't like gravy, but they'll like take the drippings.
My mom doesn't like anything like that. And she was like, "Is jar gravy okay?" And I was like, "No, I'll make it."
Yeah.
Jar gravy's not bad. Like you can take jar gravy.
Shit, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
I mean you have
thanks.
to add seasonings to it to make it palatable, but I mean at the same time, like it's not the best.
I'm just gonna make it from scratch. I
I'm
make
just going to
the
ask me
gravy.
what my favorite is.
What's your favorite?
What's your favorite, babe?
Giblets. No. Call me.
You love the giblets?
He's kidding.
Hit up my DMs and I'll give you my address to mail me your giblets. Pretty predictable, but I like the dark meat turkey.
Oh, nice dark
Yeah.
meat. Nice,
Dark
nice.
meat?
I like dark.
I never
meat
really
too.
care for dark meat. I always care for
I
white.
like
Dark
dark
meat.
All will be carved.
But yeah, actually beer. Let's be honest.
Oh my!
It's another opportunity to drink.
I do like
excessive
pumpkin
amounts
pie
of
too. My mom
do you,
makes
do you
really
pass
good
out
pumpkin pie.
after Thanksgiving?
No,
You
We usually
guys
eat
don't?
later. We're not.
yeah,
those
we
who
eat like a
dinner
dinner.
at
We eat
noon
dinner
kind of
time.
people.
We eat
Yeah.
at dinner time.
Growing up, we ate usually around like 12 or 1 o'clock.
Oh,
And then
okay.
then we pass the fuck out.
No, we eat at like dinner time. The napping happens before dinner.
Yeah. We would also have mimosas while we're cooking.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
So
I like that.
that's a good tradition. I wanted to bring that one back. But,
That is a good one.
but
I like it.
We now go to my we go to families now to do Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So not doing that as much. But yeah. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Addams Family Values. That's about it.
We got to do the Twitter thing, don't we? And then
Oh yeah. I know.
Come on, man.
Brian's already thinking about gravy.
I am thinking about gravy. John, where can they find you out on the Twitter machine?
The Unreal J Wolves.
Lane?
LA_Croft.
You can find me at Brian Content on the Psycho Show page. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw away, you can contact us at cinemapsychoshow.com. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes and catch a new episode next time.
Mail me your giblets, and I will send you a T-shirt.
Epicast.